They used to embarrass us under the former President Ria regime. But since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life.
It's a great challenge for us as a motorcycle and run in real life to say we are failure or foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Kasala?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, $30 million again? Well, what is that? What I did with this money? What happened? I said, come here, arrest you for $30 million. I said, $30 million? I didn't do anything with $30 million. $30 million is with the World Food Program.
K News comes to you from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9. You can listen to K News at 6 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. every weekdays as we bring to you your news makers. K News. K News. Get all of the latest.
Blessing. A pleasant good evening from Pinsville, outside the nation capital, Monrovia, and welcome to K News at 6. K News at 6 is a 45 minutes presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. My name is Benjamin Gabriel Kava. On today's Monday, July 28, 2025 edition of the news, we take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you the full package of the news. Welcome back to the news. We take our first story here where President Joseph Human Boakai has announced the establishment of a high-level presidential ad hoc committee to investigate the rising cost of basic commodities. In his 178th Independence Day message, the Liberian leader vowed to ensure fair play in the economy, stating that the prices of commodities appear to be high, which contradicts the reduction in import tariffs. He raised concern over the prevailing prices of imported building materials and some kinds of food, including flavor, sugar, and other essential commodities. President Boakai designated Vice President Joseph Jeremiah Cohn to chair the Presidential Ad Hoc Committee. The committee is tasked with the duty to investigate the root causes of price disparities and report in 45 days for immediate action to ensure fairness and stability of the local market. According to President Boakai, the recent price of some commodities require urgent attention, especially where import costs in some areas have fallen. He highlighted that the highest cost of basic commodities is starving ordinary Liberians while assuring his government's commitment to ensure a flexible market system in the country.
Why our country and our economy is making steady progress, our domestic revenue remains limited, and many families continue to feel the weight of high prices. Transportation costs are too high. The prices of flour, sugar, and other essential goods continue to be a burden. Building materials are still expensive. While our country and our economy is making steady progress, our domestic revenue remains limited, and many families continue to feel the weight of high prices. Transportation costs are too high. The prices of flour, sugar, and other essential goods continue to be a burden. Building materials are still expensive, making it hard for ordinary Liberians to construct houses and businesses. This contradiction, where import costs have fallen, yet market prices remain high, requires urgent attention. Therefore, I am establishing a high-level presidential ad hoc committee to investigate these disparities and recommend practical solutions for our immediate action. The commission and the committee will be chaired by someone I trust dearly, a dedicated public servant and an experienced businessman, the Vice President Jeremiah Bankun. The committee will work swiftly and submit a comprehensive report within 45 days with clear recommendations to restore fairness and stability in our market system. Fellow Liberians, I stand before you both as your president and as partner in renewal, ready to make bold decisions, free of fear or bias, to advance the cause of our country.
His Liberian leader, President Joseph Imam Boakai. The 178th Independent Day orator, Reverend Emmett Lafayette Don, has called on Liberians to reimagine the country's identity and forge one vision to build a vibrant society. Reverend Don, in his Independence Day oration, urged citizens to put aside political, ethnic, and religious differences and unite to support the national government to achieve its developmental goals. Reverend Don emphasized that building a successful nation does not rest solely with the government, noting that every citizen must reflect on the identity of the country as one nation and people and feel the sense of obligation to the nation-building efforts. He said reimagining Liberia's identity as an indivisible nation will redefine the country's future and place it on the right path for a prosperous destiny. Reverend Don pointed out that this vision have long injured Liberia's development agenda, cautioning Liberians that it is now time to embrace one goal and push the country forward.
The future we hope for, a Liberia that is peaceful, prosperous, and just, demands the participation of all Liberians. My people, I am not asking us to do the impossible. Others have gone down this road before, and they have overcome. We can do the same. So in our effort to contribute to nation building, our young people must rise, not just to seek jobs, but to create them. Our leaders must rise, not just to seek power, but to serve with integrity. Our communities must rise, not with violence or division, but with unity and shared purpose. Let us move away from the politics of blame and embrace the politics of building. Let us not only demand change, but let us be committed to be the change that we demand. The Liberian dream must be built by Liberian hands. The future is not a gift wrapped and given to us. It is a responsibility that we must earn. Building that future means embracing a new national covenant. To accomplish this task of national building, I offer 5 pillars for your consideration. Pillar number 1, I call us to reimagine our national identity. Liberia stands at a moment where we must reimagine our future. And that future must begin with a foundation, write a new chapter in our national narrative that binds us, not by the division of our past, but by the sheer hope of our collective destiny.
For his part, President Joseph Philemon Boakai has vowed to push national reconciliation and unity across the country. According to President Boakai, the move is a key step toward achieving his government's national development plan, the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development. The Liberian leader noted that national development cannot be felt without healing the division that threatens to pull the countries apart. He told Liberians and high-level international guards that there is no greater task now ahead than exploring the current strides of his administration toward building the desired Liberia.
Liberia must not be left behind, but to move forward, we must first heal the divisions that threaten to pull us apart. Our development will not endure without reconciliation. Our future cannot take root without unity. That is why this year's theme, One People, One Destiny, Healing the Past and Building the Future, rings loud with such urgency. There is no greater task before us than building a Liberia that is good for all Liberians. We must be inspired by words that say, I quote, where there was once a shadows, light has fallen. Yes, Liberia has known darkness, but today we must be able to be bearers of the new light, a light that reveals our common purpose. The nation has made progress, and we must urgently work using the positive from Liberia's exceptionalism to accelerate our efforts and catch up. For it is only through reconciliation that we can fully heal and move forward as one people.
His Liberian leader, President Joseph Philemon Boakai, earlier speaking was Liberia 178th Independence Day orator Dr. Hermet Lafayette Dunn. Vice President Jeremiah Kwan has reaffirmed Liberia's strong commitment to building inclusive, resilient, and sustainable food system. VP Kwan made the commitment while addressing the United Nations Food System Summit 4 currently underway in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Speaking on behalf of President Joseph Imambuakai, Vice President Kwan thanked the government of Ethiopia and Italy for hosting what he described as a very important APRESA summit to assess the progress made since the inaugural UN Food System Summit 4 years ago. The Vice President outlined Liberia's national priorities for food system transformation, emphasizing three key areas: nutrition-sensitive agriculture aimed at reducing stunting and malnutrition among the country's most vulnerable population, climate-smart agricultural practices developed in partnership with local farmers, and cooperative and inclusive government framework that ensure active participation of youth, women, and marginalized communities. While acknowledging progress, Kwan urged delegates to focus beyond statistics and engage in honest reflection. Vice President Kwan emphasized the critical need for regional cooperation and reaffirmed Liberia's support for the African Comprehensive Africa Cultural Development Program. He also stressed the connection between food security and peace building, especially in fragile and conflict-affected states. Liberia pledged continued support for the UN Food Systems Agenda and called on fellow nations to transform declarations into concrete action that ensure food security for all. The three-day summit held from July 27 to the 29th of July bring together global leaders, UN agencies, and key stakeholders to accelerate progress towards sustainable food system aligned with the Sustainable Development Goal. The Liberia Road Transport Union has distanced itself from the go-slow protest staged by some commercial drivers on Monday, July 28, 2025 against the Liberia Transport Management. The union described the protest as not being the representation for the collective voice of the national transport body. Alexander Swa, who served as advisor to the Liberia Road Transport Union, attributed the protest to weak and fragmented leadership within the transport sector. Swat noted that the increasing number of unregulated unions across the country has created confusion, making it difficult to coordinate unified actions or address concern in an organized manner. He emphasized that the Liberia Road Transport Union is a nationally recognized institution and that any strike or protest action must come through structured engagement and be backed by valid and collective reasons. In the case of Monday's action, the protesters reportedly failed to provide a concrete justification for their demonstration, making it difficult for the LRTU to support or associate with it. He cautioned commercial drivers to be vigilant and avoiding being misled by individuals who present themselves as leaders but lack official standing. Swa believes such actions are often driven by personal motives and can expose drivers to unnecessary risks, especially when there is no legal protection or backing. The Liberia Road Transport Union, through the guidance of its leadership and advisor like Alexander Swa, is urging all commercial drivers to address grievances through legitimate channels. The union maintained that structured dialogue and coordinated advocacies are the best approaches for resolving issues within Liberia's transport sector.
It's good and it's going well. One of the reasons that this identical thing was social media everywhere drew our attention is that we realize that people are not understanding the definition of being leaders of institutions. And the Federation of Road Transport Union is a well-structured, organized institution with various layers. Before we get involved with any other thing, you got to be clear, we got to know the reason, you got to be factual, we got to know where it's coming from and why. Some of the things we need to do to see how we can mitigate the actions that need to be taken. So from that background, when we heard people are going slow, they will begin confused. What's the cause? When you ask some of our colleagues, it becomes so difficult. Because one of the reasons the country has this kind of problem is you just come out and make anybody union, a single person representing a group with no structure. So for the matter of fact, you get the kind of thing you're getting.
What's your stand on the overall?
Our stand is we are not involved with activities that we do not clearly understand why we go on the street for. So we're not part of it. Our drivers going about with their normative, because we're not just a Monrovia-based union. We're a union across the country. So if we try to stage a protest, it means that the people in Banga will not be running, the people in Nimba will not be running, the people in Granjida will not be running, the people all across the country will not be running. And we'll have to give them reason why. And the reason we are not the one to even give it to them. They should give us the reason why we should support their initiative of protest. Because the pain that they will be feeling, what they will be going through, is one of the things we will be speaking towards.
But is there...
We just want to tell our drivers to not allow themselves to be used by people. Because when you are used by people or push come to shove, they will not be there to stand for you because they will not show their face. It's never good to deal with somebody that is in the dark and pushing you with hands. We are leaders of the union. We are willing to take any bullet stand for you for the right cause. People who from the ministry, if they have that fight, you have nothing to do with their fight. Don't go there and get you used because the moment they call them to come and answer questions, they will not answer. They will deny these things. Go about your normal business. When the vehicle registration...
He's Alexander Swah, the advisor to the Liberia Road Transport Union. A group of aggrieved taxi drivers staged a peaceful protest against the concession agreement between the government of Liberia and the Liberia Traffic Management, or LTM. The drivers say the agreement has given LTM too much power, resulting in what they describe as daily harassment, excessive ticketing, and a lack of accountability. Speaking to reporters, the protesters said they are pulled over and fined unnecessarily, and payments made to LTM are not supported by official government received. They also allege that important documents, even though signed by the police director, are being withheld after payment. The protesters are calling on the national government to cancel the agreement and assign traffic duties to a more transparent and accountable public institution. During the protest riot, police from the Liberia National Police were deployed to the scene, but the demonstration remained peaceful with no reports of injury or arrest.
Go into a 25-year deal with this foreign company, right? At the end of the day, where it will be at the detriment of the ordinary job. And let me tell you something for sure. If the jobs are affected, the ordinary business people will be affected. All of those passengers will be affected. So we said no to the 25 years deal with the European company, and we are not going to allow it. We said in this message to the President of Liberia, to make sure that he addressed this issue with immediate effect. Other than that, we are going to remain consistent, persistent, and if
Is there a transport minister? Transport minister signature is the police ID signature is on it. You can see, it's a signature on it. Inspector General and Adwa National Police. So now what I tell you, we're doing business with foreign company. We're not doing business with transport. When they issue our ticket, they get winner there, they get a bank there. We can go pay instead of paying for RRBC. That they will get their
no RRM.
You get a lesson for in affairs.
You pay the money to the
You pay the money to the info, then they get a lesson.
Otherwise, they no RRBC.
I hate to hear things doing that without paying to LRM no more.
They go afar, even get the police all of.
They
Voices of protesters at the protest ground this weekend. If you're just joining us, it's a reminder that you're listening to K News at 6, a 45 minutes presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. We are live on our Facebook page at Cool, also live on YouTube at Cool Channel 2, and live on our website, our online radio at www.knewsonline.com. In a strong show of support for Liberian music and cultural expression, House Speaker Richie Nambekon made a surprise appearance at the Christoph the Change concert held at the Samuel Kando Sports Complex on Saturday, July 26, as support of celebration marking Liberia's 128th Independence Day. Speaker Kon joined hundreds of Liberians at the iconic venue to celebrate homegrown talents and reaffirm his commitment to promoting the nation's vibrant art and culture sector. He said he's inspired by the love Liberians are showing for their own. The speaker went on to announce plans to host the next Mass Musical Jamboree, signaling a new level of national support for local entertainers and creativity, calling for greater patriotism at all levels. Honorable Kon urged Liberians to love their country and embrace all aspects of the nation's identity, including its rich cultural heritage. Loving Liberia means loving everything about its people, its music, and its tradition. The former president of the Liberia Council of Churches has appealed for calm following the altercation between an officer of the Liberia National Police and a Muslim woman. Bishop Cotto Brown, who is also the general overseer of the Apostolic Pentecostal Church International, said Liberians should learn how to manage conflict because anything can spark religious conflicts. Addressing a press conference in Beerville outside Monrovia, Bishop Brown encouraged the government to engage religious leaders to foster religious harmony. The Liberia Council of Churches former president also appealed to the public to exercise patience as they await the outcome of the police investigation.
Over the last several hours, there's this ongoing debate about what happened in Monrovia yesterday between a female and a police officer. The situation decided to want to get out of hand. What we come to do is to appeal, keep a calm. The police have said they're investigating. They refer the issue to the Professional Civil Division. And I think that all Liberians, including religious leaders, we should give the police the chance to investigate. I think it doesn't serve the public well when we read all kinds of motives into what happened on yesterday, unless the government needs to be more serious in engaging the religious community, because you see the intensity of what happened yesterday, just a little, and it's taking over the whole country. There are discussions going on everywhere. So it's on the police to come up with a clear and responsible report, so that that report can be a measurement for restoring understanding, peace, and laying the ground for us to be able to engage and re-engage, for the common good. Normally, religious crises are always most time fueled by accident. So yesterday was like one such accident, where an altercation between a police officer and a female who happens to be a Muslim took place, and everything almost went upside down.
He is the former president of the Liberia Council of Churches, Bishop Carter Brown. Former Finance Minister David Fahad is encouraging President Joseph Imam Boakai to remain focused on moving the country despite criticism from some quarters. He said it is not necessary for government officials to be shifting blame on past and current leaders of the country regarding developmental initiatives. Speaking in an interview with K News, Mr. Fahad pointed out that he wants President Boakai to take stringent measures against government officials whom he considered disciplined public servants, thus undermining the gain and efforts of the president. He asserted that the focus of the Unity Party government should be on the forward march of the country instead of responding to issues that will benefit the citizens.
There's a lot of yo-yo going on, people writing this, writing that, and I'm happy. You know, life is a stage. And when you come on the stage and your time is feeling, you leave the stage and go by your business. Let your audience decide what you did. But the main point I want to say, whether we did this, we didn't do that, whatever. Now the government is in the hand of Honorable Joseph Imam Boakai. He's responsible for the country. Everything wrong or right, it is responsibility. That's why they say heavy is the head that wears the crown. So what he is supposed to do now is to right the wrong, correct what was wrong, and improve what needs to be. So whether we made him my role or he didn't build, is no longer there. He's stamping, he's off the stage. Now, we as citizens need to bring some of the things we think need to be done. Situation. Our children are dying terribly. Children all night in the street. They're going. Something has to be done about them. It's government responsibility to protect our citizens. The children must be protected. Something must happen about this drug. Otherwise, we'll continue on flip-flopping. China got rid of this thing. They made it up. They catch it with you, only God will save you. And that's the only way. We have to take some drastic measures. Talk about the corruption, another area that we need to tackle. The president himself, I listened to him on social media. Where are the roads? He said there was money. We know some of these people where the money went. This is Boakai's administration. And no, not J.J. Robert being ordered there, Tottenham being ordered there, we are being ordered there. They can make all the noise to make. He's not there no more. When you're running for those positions, you should know some of the things you're going to be faced with. We don't have any residential area no more. Everywhere they see the hole, they put out the mark. No, that's not to be done. The government needs to do something about that. Motorbike ball. Everywhere you see a pile of police standing out. I said, we don't need to do that. Government needs to make a decision. This is what the decision communicated to your people. Now, when you violate it, well, then you're looking for your own trouble. We don't have to have hundreds of police officers wasting time in the street chasing motorbikes. This is the thing. An indisciplined public servant, indisciplined labor.
He is former Finance Minister David Fahad. The civil society human rights platform of Liberia has called on the Ministry of Justice to launch an investigation into the mishandling of a Fula lady known as Zinamba by an officer of the Liberia National Police. It can be recorded that on Thursday, July 24, 2025, a video of an officer of the LMP in a scuffle with Madam Ba on allegation of power theft circulated on social media in Monrovia. Addressing a press conference in Painesville, the platform's Secretary General Adam Dempster said, as such, a sacrifice between an LMP officer and a Fula woman does not argue well for a civilized society in the 21st century. According to Dempster, the Ministry of Justice and the LMP authorities should make the findings from the investigation public as soon as possible.
The Civil Society Human Rights Advocacy Platform of Liberia demands immediate action regarding public outcry on a video circulating on social media. The footage shows officers of the Liberian National Police restraining a Fulanite woman, Zenef Ba, forcibly removing her child from her arms and stripping her of her hijab, which is a symbol of female Muslim attire. According to a report on July 23, 2025, a power theft team from the Liberia Electricity Corporation, LEC, accompanied by LNP officers, while on their routine tour of duty, visited the victim's residence on Nepo Street in Monrovia, investigating an unconfirmed report of power theft, thereby leading to the egregious human rights violation against Zenef. The Civil Society Human Rights Advocacy Platform of Liberia note that the unconfirmed report of power theft by Madame Zenef Ba did not warrant her to face such degrading and inhumane treatment meted against her and her innocent baby by the police officer. Considering the basic universal human rights laws and standards, which also is a violation of the child's and the mother's human rights. The CSO platform would like to further state that the ill treatment of Madame Zenef Ba was an act of cruelty, and we unequivocally call on the Ministry of Justice to initiate an immediate and impartial investigation into the entire episode. This incident poses a serious risk of inciting religious tension in Liberia. Furthermore, the Civil Society Human Rights Platform viewed the removal of Zenef Ba's hijab, a symbol of religious molested and faith, which is integral to the identity and dignity of Muslim women, was harshly exhibited by the police. It is imperative that the LNP officers involved are investigated and held accountable, regardless of any unconfirmed allegation of power theft on the part of the victim. The Civil Society Human Rights Advocacy Platform is urging the Fulani and Muslim community to remain calm while the Ministry of Justice, the LNP, and the LEC undertake a thorough investigation to restore religious sanity and uphold the human rights of citizens and residents in our nation.
He's Adam Dempster. In a bid to restore confidence and improve public service delivery, the Liberia Transport Management Authority, or LTM, has announced plans to rehire 90% of its former employees pending a pre-qualification process. This comes in the wake of a recent protest by several aggrieved former employees of the Ministry of Transport who took their grievances to the 55th Legislature at the Capitol building. The concern followed the signing of a new operational agreement between the Ministry of Transport and the government of Liberia. Speaking to a team of journalists at his office, Fadi Aweda, Director of Operation and Project at LTM, confirmed that the re-employment process is underway. He emphasized that the institution is committed to delivering quality service to the Liberian public, and the rehiring efforts form part of that commitment. Fadi says it aims to build a more professional and effective team that can meet the transport needs of Liberians across the country.
Motor licensing services, driver license, vehicle registration, vehicle inspection, paying fines. This is meant to be a one-stop shop for the customers to come and do all these services in one place. Even insurance companies will be hosted here in our compound. So as you can see here, I will show you around the place. This is the inspection center where the vehicles will go and be inspected for roadworthiness, for the mechanical inspection. Sitting here, they will be ushered to this area where they will where they fill the application form, and then they will proceed to the bank to pay. Here they can do driver license, vehicle registration, pay fines, pay for the impoundment fees. Everything can be done in one place here. The last stop will be the delivery room, where the customer will come here and find all their documents ready for delivery, whether it's a license plate, driver license, vehicle registration, anything that you will collect it from here, you'll sign for it, and then you can leave. Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Here, if you have all your documents ready with you and nothing missing, it should take around. Here we count in minutes, we don't count in days. We are a private company, we are employing Liberians. 98% are Liberians. We have discussed this with the ministry a few times already, and we have invited them to give us the list of people who they have so that we can see who can actually fit in our profile, and maybe we can onboard them.
The administration of Mahdi Kema Public School has warned it would face serious difficulties reopening for the next academic year if government does not assist quickly. The warning came after it emerged that the school administration and property owners were embroiled in a dispute over rental agreement. According to Madam Kebe Kennedy Didwa, the administration is fully committed to providing quality education to students, but the impasse with the property owners is promoting the need to relocate the school in order to provide a good learning environment. The school principal Kebe Kennedy Didwa said the institution is also experiencing string of challenges which tend to force its closure. They include overcrowding in classrooms, the lack of chairs, and the deplorable condition of the building. Mrs. Didwa made the disclosure during the recent 20th graduation program Friday, July 24th in Blacktown Town, Kirisburg.
Success story for this year is overwhelming. I cannot state all here. At least today we have reached this far in our academic 2024-2025 year. The enrollment was overwhelming as compared to past years, and the reasons are there. The building we are using, the property that we occupy, is not government-owned property. It's a private property. And this property owner have the habit of every time coming to disrupt classes. In 2022-2023 academic year, that was under the past president, we are regime. She locked that door. We were out of school for almost 2 months. President we had to call her, and according to her, and give her $20,000 US. She says that was a deal signed between her, President we government and her. And then when President Bwakai took over, she came again in September when we started our first period test, October 7th. She came. When you look in our survey here, you will see some pictures there about the building. When she called the Capitol to come and lock the door while the children were in class taking a test, she and one of our female teacher even got into fights, and then the door was locked. And she said, if the government don't give her money, we will not have access to the building. The CEO over then came and talked, the DO came and talked, and she said she was not opening the building. And we stayed out of school for almost 3 weeks, and the children ran out of patience.
Speaking of the program, the Chief of Office Staff of Montserrat County District 1 Representative Rogi Yutubari William Bill Montgomery expressed appreciation to school and parents for good working relation. He said Representative Rogi Barry stands ready to assist the school, including providing financial assistance to honor roll students from kindergarten to the 9th grade. He reminded the students to devote more time to their studies, particularly reading materials that are beneficial to the future, as Liberia depends on their expertise tomorrow.
Number 3 things. Number 1, you are capable. You might doubt yourself sometimes whether you are able to do one of the things. But let me remind you, just look at what you have done already. You pass your test, you pass your exam. When the VP of for instruction was giving the school report, he said people drop out. Why did they drop out? There are so many reasons we don't know, but you maintain, you stay in school to this level, so you are capable of completing the level that you are. Number 2, you are needed. You are needed. NPTED. Liberia needs young people like you, smart, creative, and passionate. Your community needs you. Your community needs your ideas, your leadership, your kindness. There are a lot of smart people around here. Somebody will have some document they want to, they may not know how to read it. They will call you, say, oh man, get rather for not read. Please help me to read this. And you will read it so eloquently. That's what I mean by you are needed in the community to help others. And the last one is that you are just getting started. You have not arrived yet. Don't stop here. Today is not the end. It is the beginning.
Well, on that note, we take our foreign development here, where kidnappers in Nigeria have killed at least 35 people they abducted from a village in northern Zamfara state despite ransoms being paid for their release, a local official told the BBC. In recent years, criminal gangs in the region known in the country as bandits have taken the kidnapping people as means to raise money. In this incident, 56 people were taken from Banga village, Karan Manoba local government area in March. The gunmen then demanded a ransom of 1 million naira per captive, media in Nigeria report. Local government chairman Maniru Hidara Kaur said that most of those killed were young people who were slaughtered like rams. Well, on that note, we draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6. It's been a joint effort from our News and Current Affairs Department here at Cool 91.9. For and on behalf of the entire news team, my name is Benjamin Gabriel Keba. Good evening from Painesville.
K News.